Hi, I'm Rob Patz.
And I'm Kristen Stanton.
And this is the Rob and Kristen Show. Welcome to another edition of the Rob and Kristen Show. You know when I say I'm Rob Patz, you know that part, the start, I kind of figure people know by now.
No, but you never know. There might be somebody new tuning
We
in.
hope so, because there have been a lot of great people out there that have joined us here on the Rob and Kristen Show. You know, one of the things I do want to talk about, in case somebody is new, is something that you and I love to do. Of course, Kristen is a singer, in case you're new. You probably don't know that. Kristen writes her own music and has CDs out. You can find those by hitting us up on the app. I can make sure I get you a link and everything you need. But we also speak.
We do.
And we have a lot of fun doing that. We do it solo. Kristen does it a lot. And we've actually...
You do it solo.
Well, I do on occasion. But we also do it together. And we've got a little bit that we do. Includes similar thing to the top 5, but a little different. And we had a fun time, did Christmas last year and had a goofy, fun time. My wife wrote a speech that I had no time to practice, which was super fun. And then it was a dark room, so I couldn't even have my papers, but that was fun. Thankfully, that was not recorded for television or anywhere else for that matter. And we were truly blessed. But you know what? We would love to come. Both of us have a heart to speak. And we have a good time. I think you probably can figure out by now, we're not always serious, but we can be. Mm-hmm. And so we're a little of both. And we would love to come and minister at your church, whether that's through music with Kristen or with us speaking together or separately. You probably have a great women's event and you'd love to have Kristen. Maybe you have a men's event and you'd love to have me come. Mine is quite a bit less serious. So if you're looking for serious, this is your person right here.
But once again, that's why tag team speaking works so well.
Yes, she reels me in, is really what happens. And at the end of the day, that's what's most important. Of course, our contact phone number is there on the screen. You can check us out. We'd love to come to your church. And I think it'd be so much fun. Do that and meet some of our viewers who watch
so much fun
every week, and we appreciate you. Our numbers have been amazing, and we thank you so very much. In fact, we know you're not here to hear us talk about speaking. You're here for what I think is one of the funnest parts of any show currently on television. 5 things we think you should know. You know what? Do you remember when you were young and you said, liar, liar, pants on fire?
Oh, what do you mean? I still say that.
You still say it? I haven't said it in a long time. But here's the situation. He wasn't a liar. So really he was a thief, pants on fire. It's really...
I think it's even more than that.
I think his pants and everything else were on fire. Anyway, he was going to... These 2 criminals, they were going to go to a fast food place. And we assume rob it.
No.
No? They just were going there to...
They're arsonists.
Not good arsonists, obviously. That's what it says, too. Guys, you're lying on your LinkedIn. You're obviously not arsonists if you...
That's why you thought that they were like thieves.
I thought they were thieves because, you know...
Well, tell the rest of the story. This is good.
Okay, so you see them on the CCT, on the closed caption.
And this is in Australia.
In Australia. For all of our fans over there in Australia, and we hear from you, and it's so important. But so they go out of frame, basically, and they're going to burn this fast food place down. The problem is about 3 seconds later, you see them coming across the frame, and I saw the picture, and he's on fire. His pants are on fire. On your LinkedIn, if you're watching, change it from arsonist to thief. Or something else, or maybe get rehabilitated, because obviously arson's not your main gig. Wow, I did not know. I thought they were going to steal stuff and then going to burn it down after they stole
You
the
didn't
stuff.
read the script very well.
I didn't, obviously. I like the liar liar pants on fire thing, and so I forgot the rest of the script, which is written down here for me, just in case you're wondering. But very interesting. They haven't told us yet whether they've caught them or not.
No, but what's really funny is that you see this guy and like literally his pants are on fire. And so
Not funny for him,
No.
just mind you.
No, so they
But
only
funny for us, not
Yes.
him.
So they only showed us a picture, thankfully, because I wouldn't have wanted to see the rest. But the video showed him taking off his pants and hightailing out of there with his cohort in crime.
Change your LinkedIn. Arsonist is not it.
Just really not good. Find a different occupation, preferably one that is not illegal.
Illegal. And just think if you're the other guy. I'm like, I thought you said you were good at this.
Don't you wonder? I mean, what caused them? I wonder why they decided, hey, we're gonna burn down this place.
Well, obviously they do it semi for a
Do you
living.
think they're maybe an employee or something?
Oh,
Got kind of mad, maybe got fired, had an axe.
Yeah, obviously
crime.
not professional arsonists.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
They were in training, like single A. Like if you're a baseball thing, they were like single A arsonists. Should have started like maybe burning down a tree or something like that. You know,
Should have done something other
Yes.
than that.
not good, but very sad but funny in a sad but funny kind of way.
Well, our next story, it's really a good thing that this guy actually had training in what it is that he was doing. He was a contractor of some kind, and this man in Illinois was renovating his mom and dad's bathroom, and he took out the medicine cabinet and he thought, well, before I re-drywall it, I probably should look to make sure there's nothing behind it. I'm assuming he wanted to make sure there were no old prescription bottles or something of that nature. So when he looked, he found a wrapped Christmas gift.
It was for me.
Yes. So the best part about this is it had his name on it. It was from 1978. So 46 years later, he finds this Christmas gift. And he had a sister, and he said that his mom and dad always made sure they had the exact same number of gifts. And that year, he had one less gift. And so they've been joking around about it for the last 46 years, thinking that he got gypped a gift. Now, you know, at our family Christmas, seems like there's always a present missing. I mean,
It
happened
happened
to
this year.
us.
It happened this year again.
Yes.
And yes.
There's always something missing, and you're racking your brain trying to think of where you found it now or where it was. Where did I do with this? But obviously, this gift was never found, at least not until he decided to do the renovation. He took the gift and he unwrapped it in front of his mom and dad, and it was a set of Matchbox planes.
Yes.
So his mom said she didn't remember buying them, but obviously
And
that
there
was
was
a
some
long
money.
time ago.
There was some money now. Mine did not do so well, but those are actually worth some cash if you've got them. So how cool is that? And it's kind of funny because you remember as a kid that everybody, and of course being an only child, I didn't have to worry about that, but you know.
I don't think that my mom and dad really counted gifts.
Did they count more money?
They were more, hey, make sure we spend the same amount of money.
Yeah,
So,
I totally get that. I could see that as being a thing where, you know, because everybody has different wants. And if you try to, that would freak me out. That would cause me a lot of stress. I'd have anxiety at Christmas. We're like $1.50 short. And now how do we figure out gifts? Oh, but hey, you know what? You know the slogan is America runs on Dunkin'?
uh-huh.
Not Dunkin' Donuts.
What?
Because they changed their slogan a few years ago to Dunkin', which was smart because they ran out of donuts in several locations, including Omaha, Nebraska. We talked about Omaha last week.
We did.
How is that just amazing?
I would be upset if I went to Dunkin'. Of course, in my mind, I still think of it as Dunkin' Donuts because I don't drink coffee. So I would be upset if we
pray
went
for her. Just pray for her, ladies and gentlemen. There were struggles in our life. When we got married, my cousin actually asked this recently. She said, "Didn't you ask this important thing?" And I was like, "No, I didn't think of it."
but I'm glad that I didn't go to that Dunkin' Donuts and find out that I couldn't get it. Sorry, Dunkin'.
Yes, Dunkin' without the donuts, obviously, because they don't have any. Now, they say it's going to be rectified here in a very short time, but how disappointing is that? Because a lot of people, including me, love to go and have a donut when I have my coffee. It's kind of a great way to start the morning. And they're a lot more than, and throwing no shade on Dunkin', they're a lot more than just donuts. They wanted to remind people they also do other foods. So you still can go and get food there. Just not donuts right now. In certain locations, not all across the country. So don't go panicked if you live in New York and going, where's my donuts? Or in Boston, which they love Dunks. That's their thing there.
And they said that they had no problems with finding donuts in Boston.
Yes, surprisingly, as for all of us that know that's kind of their jam. That's their place. So it's good, but it's good. We'll get that worked out. It's an early bump in the 2025 year for Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin'.
Well, out in Switzerland, something a little bit bigger than donuts went missing.
What went missing bigger than donuts?
Some red pandas. Yes.
Okay, now are red pandas red?
No, I don't know.
Okay, I just
I
wondered.
think they might be a little bit reddish.
Yes, they're
Reddish,
tinged.
yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't study pandas
Why not?
because I like the black bears.
Would you express your panda?
How long have you been waiting to use that?
All episode about however many minutes we're into this week's show. It was actually 10 minutes prior to shooting. I was getting ready, lit. I went, Panda Express. We got to use Panda Express in the show. So we've now plugged two non-sponsors, Panda Express and Dunkin' so far. So yes. But back to your story.
Well, the Walter Zoo in Switzerland, they had a snowstorm, okay? And I guess the snow weighted down the branches, and then the branches caused an escape route for these two red pandas. And so the one panda, they said they found only a few yards from the enclosure, and it was eating a tree. It was a girl. They were both girls. But the other one hightailed it off for an adventure in the woods. The forest.
Can't blame you. Hey man, if you're breaking out, you might as well go for it. You got to go back to jail. You got to.
So evidently a pedestrian helped the zookeepers, but the zookeepers followed the footsteps of the panda, and the panda was able to be safely captured and returned to the enclosure, the zoo.
Obviously, the guy in Australia, probably about as good as the panda that left its footprints in the... At least the panda didn't light itself on fire. Hey, you know what? We've had a lot of snow in the forecast for a lot of the upper Midwest, and included down in the south of the United States. It has been a crazy winter. And the other thing I was thinking about is GPS. We use GPS all the time because we travel and we do a lot of stuff in a lot of places that we don't know. And so we rely on GPS. In fact, we've gone to places where we relied on GPS. I'm looking at you, Columbus, Indiana. I'm looking right at you.
Yes.
Remember?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
Take a right in the dark, and we're like at a dead end, and it's like take a left, and there's no left.
No, there's nothing there. And
So
we're like, where in the world are we?
I feel for this person.
I do too.
Okay, so we're in Colorado, and the ski resort, and I can't remember the name of the resort. I was gonna remember that, and I don't remember which resort it was.
The Keystone.
Keystone, that was it. Keystone Resort they call the police and go, hey, listen, we got a problem here. And then, of course, the police are probably wondering what the problem might be for a resort. Could have been something, like a wild party or anything like that. But no, I tell you no. They called and said, hey, listen, we got a car on the slope. I'm sure they were laughing on 911. They were probably like,
Sure, yes.
Yeah, sure, you got a car on the slope. Come to find out, they went, the fire and rescue and the police were out there. And I love this part of the story. This is the funny part, is the guy writes, or girl writes a note and says, hey, listen, GPS took me here. And I'm like, I feel for him because we know what it's like to go down a wrong road. But I'm wondering whereabouts. So this is part we haven't talked about this story is whereabouts did he realize he was on a slope?
That's a great question.
And go, this does not look like a road.
No, and that's the interesting part, because it didn't say. It just said, the note said that GPS was following a GPS route, and I made a wrong turn and I ended up on the ski slope. But we don't know if the wrong turn was on the ski slope.
Oh, it had to be.
Or if it was they made a wrong turn someplace and then maybe the road was further back or was further up ahead, because sometimes it'll say turn left and there's no road there. So who knows? And when it's snow covered, it's Colorado. Maybe they thought that it was
could have been dark.
Yeah.
It probably was dark. That would be my guess.
I don't know. We're not trying to make excuses, but it's.
I feel for the guy.
I really do too.
I do too. Because I mean, then explain especially if it's obviously may have been a rental vehicle. Would be my guess, because he wouldn't leave it. I was thinking
about that too.
Wouldn't leave it there, but explaining to the rental car company, yeah, you did have to have it towed because I parked it on a ski slope.
The story did say that the tow truck was able to come out and pull it out and return it to its owner. So we don't know if the owner was the driver or if the owner was somebody else, but it was able to be returned. But I can imagine. You
know what could have been? Because you know what we didn't have? Could have been a bear. Could have been a bear. Maybe a bear drove it out there, joyriding.
Maybe.
Got lost. It was unbearable. That's what I think. I do. I totally think it could have been a bear. That's what I'm going with. Though, how do you write? Really, I don't think they.
I don't know. But you know what I think is unbearable?
What?
The fact that it is winter in Ohio and we can't go to Mackinac Island until May.
We are planning it already. One of our favorite places in the country to go is Mackinac Island. And so we have a show coming up that is fully about Mackinac Island. And we're excited about that one. It's really cool. I've seen a lot of what we call in the business, rough cuts. It's very cool. You can use that term when you're around people and impress them. But I've seen a lot of the rough stuff, and it looks super cool. And in fact, we're going to give you a sneak peek of our Mackinac Island special coming up.
Now again, this is a fundraiser with proceeds going back to Mackinac Island Upland Trail.
Okay, so we tried a little sample. What did you think?
So we're 3 in. Coffee for me.
Are you with your coffee as well?
No. 5 things we love about Mackinac Island. Halfway point, if you're taking a carriage ride, is 1 billion donuts. That is a lot.
Okay, so we followed some trails. So we are here at the Grand Hotel. I'd like a single cup of the Mackinac Island fudge.
That episode is going to be super special. We are excited about it. We have a lot of plans for travel in the new year, which is going to be fun here as we're in the new year. But also, we're excited to bring you some of our great travel from this past year into shows. We're super excited about that because we love to travel.
And we're still going to be doing some episodes where we're cooking. We're going to be doing some episodes where we maybe take on some challenges and some things that we've never done before.
One of her suggestions in text was roller coasters. And I was like, no,
I like roller coasters.
I do not.
That's why we should do
Not
a show.
happening in this
Hey,
lifetime.
if you think we should do that and get
No.
Rob on a roller coaster, send us a message.
Do I get to pick the roller coaster?
Sure. Send us a message through Facebook, through our app, email, whatever, however you want to do it.
I'm going to find a kiddie roller coaster. One of those that, like 2 feet off the ground. Have you seen those?
I think you'd be a little bit too big for those.
Not a chance happening. Hey, listen, what are we going to learn about today? I'm excited about this.
We are going to be in Matthew chapter 4. So Matthew chapter 4, and I am calling this the wilderness experience.
Oh, cool.
So the wilderness experience, and you'll hear a little bit more about this, and you'll understand as we read this, okay? So Matthew chapter 4, we're starting in verse 1. So Matthew 4, verse 1, it says, "Then was Jesus led up of the Holy Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil." Now this came after he was baptized, and God said, "This is my son in whom I am well pleased." And then the Spirit led him into the wilderness. And I thought about this, Rob, like, why did the Spirit feel the need to lead Jesus into the wilderness?
I don't know.
I don't either. So why the wilderness? Because he was there and he was fasting and praying for 40 days. And I thought about this because we've done fasts before. And you can do a fast anywhere. You can do a fast at home. You can do a fast while you're at work. You can just do a fast. You don't have to remove yourself from your entire situation, from your entire life.
Right.
And so I thought, why the wilderness? You know, was it to remove the distractions? Not that Jesus would have been distracted from doing what it was that he was called to do, but other people may have come in and tried to get him to heal them or talk to him, or
Right.
I don't know. It was just something that I was thinking about. Why the wilderness? And so it got me thinking a little bit about this. And it says in verse 2, it says, "And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward hungry." 40 days and
40 days
nights.
I would be hungry.
Yeah, but why wasn't he hungry during the 40 days and 40 nights?
That's a great question.
He was so focused. I think it was because he was so focused on having that communion and that time with God that he forgot about those other things. Have you ever been so focused on something in your life that kind of everything else just fades away? And it's only after you've accomplished what it is that you want to accomplish that maybe you remember, oh, I haven't eaten today, or I have to do...
That never happens to me, but okay.
or I have to do this. I need to get these things done. Well, I was thinking about this a lot. And when Jesus went through these 40 days and 40 nights, and it was in the wilderness, we don't know why it was in the wilderness, but that's what got me thinking about this wilderness experience that he had. Because I think about how we go through the wilderness a lot. We talk about this. As Christians, we talk about, oh, I'm in the wilderness. You know, to the world, everybody's going, what does that even mean? I'm in the wilderness. But as Christians, it's Christianese for I'm going through a rough time in my life. Well, maybe Jesus was in the wilderness. Maybe the Spirit led him into the wilderness, maybe not just so that he could get alone with God, although he often went up to the mountain to pray. But maybe it was also to remind us that in our own wilderness, that God is still there, and God still wants to commune with us, and God still wants to lead us. And that in those wilderness times when we have no strength, that his strength is made perfect through our weakness. You know.
Wow. I love that.
Thinking about some of those things. And maybe instead of us looking at our wilderness as a bad thing, maybe we should start looking at as a good thing, an opportunity for us to draw closer to God. Instead of complaining about, oh, things are going so terrible, maybe we should start saying, thank you, God, for this opportunity to slow down, to do whatever it is that I need to do so that I can draw closer to you.
I love that. I hadn't really thought of it that way, and that's really cool.
So that's kind of the first part of this, but there was more to Jesus's wilderness experience, and I think there's also more to our wilderness experience as well. In verse 3, it says, and when the tempter, now this is after he had finished the 40 days and 40 nights, okay, of the fasting and praying, because it says, and afterward he was hungry, and when the tempter came to him, and he said, if you are the Son of God, command that these stones be made to bread. So this is when he started going through the temptation, started being offered things, food, okay, do these things, do these miracles. I mean, Satan already knew he was the Son of God.
Right.
And Jesus knew that Satan knew that he was the Son of God, but he was presumably at his weakest moment because he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights.
Oh, I can't imagine. Yeah.
To the outside.
Yeah.
To the outside looking in, when you are going through some rough times, you are at your weakest moments. But if you are in direct communion with God during those weakest times, because we are made perfect through our weakness because of his strength, those are actually the moments that you are the strongest. And those are the moments that you are able to withstand more temptation, more things that get thrown your way than any other time in your life. But too often we think about these things as times where we can't do anymore. And Jesus said, you know, when you are going through these things, do everything that you can, but if you can't do anymore, just stand, and he's going to do the rest. And it says, and he answered and said, as is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. And then the devil took him up into the holy city and set him on a pinnacle of the temple. And he said to him, if you be the Son of God, cast yourself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning you. And then Jesus said again, tempt not the Lord your God. And so the third time, the devil took him up to an exceedingly high mountain, and he once again showed him all of the kingdoms of the world. And he said, I will give all of these things to you if you will just fall down and worship him. And Jesus said, get behind me, Satan. So we all know how the rest of the story went. But the point of some of this story, I think, that we need to stop and take a look at, because we don't talk about it a lot, is the fact that he was in the wilderness and he was to Satan weak. But
Wow.
ultimately, he was stronger than what he had ever been before, even though he was the Son of God. The things that we go through in our lives make us strong. Even when we're going through things that we don't want to, we need to stop and we need to say, thank you, God, for bringing me here, because here is where I find my strength.
Awesome job again. And I love that one. It's amazing. That's why they call it the living word, because it changes every time we read it. And it's really cool. Thank you so much. And hey, we appreciate each and every one of you for watching us each week, talking to us online, even emailing us through the app. We appreciate all those things. Now we want to tell you this. Chris and I want you to go out and live an abundant life.